got him in kind of a cow catcher. He subbed him.
Oh, that was a quick little sub, and I didn't even see that one coming.
It had to be like a modified Darce or a modified guillotine.
It had to be, but I didn't see his arm across the neck. So,
yeah, that was a strange one.
And then
he kind of like cow catched through him with a cow catcher, and then laid on it to cause more pressure. So, I guess it would have to be a modified arm triangle or Darce somewhat. And that was a pariah fighter.
Well, now I don't know, because the one kid I thought got tapped out just got up all excited.
No. Who won?
Who won?
Okay, yeah, the pariah fighter is the one who lost.
Oh, okay.
He probably just got up appreciating the technique, because that's pretty much how they are. There's a good bunch of good guys over there.
Oh, and
that was for a title.
Was a title bout. Now, you know what, Mike? Only because I haven't talked to you about it, and I want to know.
Okay.
What do you think about George St. Pierre coming into the UFC after a 3-year break and going in directly into fight for a title?
So we're going with the whole Ali Act conversation, right?
No, I wasn't going to go there. I was just curious what you thought of that.
I think you have to.
Eventually, I would go there.
Yeah, I think you have to come in and work your way up.
Okay.
I mean, I know the reasoning for it, and maybe we can talk to Donald Cerone and see what his opinion is of it. I think that in some way a lot of these fighters do get screwed. I complained about it with Ronda Rousey, when Ronda Rousey just was able to lose a fight and then come right back.
She was another one.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think there has to be some kind of ranking system that you have to follow through in order to get a title fight. Because now, I mean, he could literally have come back, fought that one fight, and then retired.
Now, even with Rousey, she lost the title, lost that one bout and everything. And even in a contract, you could have, an automatic rematch clause. Right. In your contract and stuff.
Sure.
But St. Pierre was out for 3 years.
Yeah, and not for an injury, not for anything else. It was just he
Now, what is that? Now there's two ways to look at this, because I've had these conversations on Facebook and stuff like that. Does that tell us that the quality of fighters at that weight class is that bad? Or is George St. Pierre just that phenomenally good that he can come in and just dominate after a 3-year hiatus?
So there's several aspects to it that you have to consider, because he did not only did he come back after 3 years, but he came back in a different weight class than what he was used to fighting in. He came back in a higher weight class. I think that was kind of a huge step up, and I don't know whether that was because of his physical inability to cut weight and get back to his usual fight weight, or if it was just, Michael Bisping. I don't think he's champion material. I think he's on his way out.
And that's very possible.
And I think that might have had something to do with it. Bisping, he busted his ass to get that title. And I would have been pissed off if I had worked my way through so many years to come up and then finally won the title. And then, you give a guy who's been sitting on the couch for 3 years, a shot at the title. It probably would have pissed me off.
No, I definitely.
So to answer your question, with it being upset, even though I loved watching GSP come back and I liked the fact that he won the title,
definitely, and I love George St. Pierre as well,
and I do respect him as a fighter. I think that he should have had a couple of fights to get a shot at the title. That's my opinion.
I think so too. And you look at like boxing, which is where you've seen this come through. You know what? George Foreman had to fight his way back up there. Sugar Ray Leonard was looking to come back after retiring, and he had to fight his way back up. All that stuff. So
I mean, you could say the same thing, and it's kind of come down to popularity of the fight. It's become a business more so than anything. As far as it has become a little Don King. It's because like the Conor McGregor and Mayweather fight. I mean, that just happened and became biggest fight in boxing history. How would you feel as Canelo or anybody else that's like biggest fight in fucking boxing history? The guy's never even had a boxing match. You know,
you're absolutely correct.
So
it's the spectacle.
It is
not the reality of it.
Yeah.
So, and Drew's just joining us back again.
Hello.
So we're sitting there talking about what you thought about George St. Pierre being able to come back in after that 3-year hiatus and fight right for the championship.
Right. Yeah. It's a rough one to take, to be honest with you, because again, you know, how are you going to give an individual a title shot when there's just a lot of other people that have been fighting over and over and over again, and then you're just going to like throw it at him? But shit, he's still the best.
And he was, and like I was telling Mike, you know what? Is it one of those things that the weight class was that poor in talent that somebody was able to come in with the talent of George St. Pierre and just dominate?
Well, and I was telling Mike last week, I mean, he came in not just as a powerhouse, but, I mean, holy shit, did you see how thick he was? I mean, that was amazing to me because he would always come in, he was thin, but he was cut, and he came in like a freaking power lifter.
Yeah, and he still was in damn good shape. I mean, he was just a lot bigger.
Yeah, and we talked about it, the second round adrenaline dump, it was very apparent.
Now, was it an adrenaline dump, or was it just the physical muscle that he had carrying
I don't think so,
that weighed in on him a little bit?
It was when you're not in the cage for that long, man, you're going to get it. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much you've trained. It doesn't matter.
Well, and we talked about it a little bit before, where there was multiple reasons for it. He had added weight. He had, for the adrenaline dump, he had added weight on. He was coming in for a title fight. He had been on the couch for 3 years, whatever. So, yeah, I mean, he definitely had some sort of adrenaline dump happening, but I think a lot of it had to do with the physical makeup that he was carrying around, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely true, but, I mean, you got to hand it to the guy no matter how he's got a belt now, and he made an example out of a guy that is kind of run the weight class for a while.
Worked his ass off to get there, yeah. How do you feel about maybe, I don't know, I've always had a problem with calling a guy a champion after he won a fight, because it is the fight game and anything can happen. We've seen people like Matt Serra beat GSP on a lucky punch and knock GSP out and become the champion, and then have an instant rematch and just completely get dominated. So how do you feel about the defending aspect of it, that you really should have to defend the title at least once or twice before you're called champion?
Well, champion is the title of what you hold. However, and it's one of those things that the belts are the belts are the belts, and everybody's got a belt, and they redo a belt for everybody. Hell, you know what? One of my guys, Johnny Moncayo, when he was the world middleweight champion for kickboxing, he had to give up his belt if he didn't successfully defend it 5 times.
And that's kind of what what Congress is doing with the Ali Act, and what they're kind of like getting at is that. So what you're saying is he's not the champion. This was just an award for winning that particular fight.
And I've maintained it for years now that you mentioned the Muhammad Ali Act. In that you know what, it's true. You know what, they get in there and they've stipulated that, listen, the promoter cannot be the manager of the fighters at the same time. Yeah. Okay, you got to be different, and it's so funny because you get people that get on there and they win a local title for Colorado Springs. They're like, oh my God, I've wanted for this my entire life, and it's a local title.
And then they can walk away and never defend it.
Yeah, and then they can walk away and never defend it, and they can always call themselves that.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. Other than that, you're the former champ.
Exactly.
You know, you're the former champ, and you know what? The UFC is strictly a local promotion at a national level because there is no regulatory sanctioning body that comes out and says, no, you can't make that fight happen.
Now, why do you think that all of a sudden they want to implement the Ali Act, and why do you think that all of a sudden they want to this is happening now? Is it really because they're concerned about the fighters and it's the fairness to the fighters, or is it a political?
Oh, it's always
financial.
Political. Listen, I've always found if you ever want to find the reason for something, follow the money.
Right.
And it's got to be a money thing.
Hey guys,
we're gonna have to move this line for the food out of the way so we can.
Yeah, can you ask them to just scooch? Can you guys just kind of wrap it around this way so we can?
Guys, we're commentating here.
Thanks.
They're like, still don't give a shit.
Go get those. Go get those two right there.
We're gonna send in the big guns. 15-year-old Christopher Lalone.
Just kind of
all right.
have him corral people
just
around.
Real quick, while we had a little lull in this whole thing. So tonight we are sponsored by a lot of different people that are helping. And number one, since Eric Lalone is with us, Empower
Training Center. Yeah.
And where are you located at?
We're located at 595 Platte Avenue, or Murray Boulevard and Platte Avenue.
It's a little difficult. It's a little difficult to find. It's the building that's between the Walmart shopping center and the tire store.
Yes.
Correct?
So we've got it in there, and I've got maps on everything that we started putting on everything and doing all that. So it's much easier.
Websites.
You'll get it. Yeah.
PowerTrainingCenter.com.
Yeah. So we were blessed enough. He donated some collie sticks, some gloves, and
some memberships to go along with them. So,
and we're not giving them out yet. We're going to wait till intermission. RU Tattooed has donated a lot of stuff too,
and that's your tattoo guy, isn't it?
Those are my people.
And
Mike's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Those are our people, and look at the work on his arm.
Oh, very nice.
It's phenomenal.
Alexander the Great.
Beautiful. I say it looks like the Statue of Liberty, but
I wanted to hear what it was supposed to be first because I didn't want to take a guess and go.
You have to
see. Is that the Mona Lisa?
You have to look at the headdress. It's the lion headdress that gives it away.
So, on top of that, we got Luna Float Spas. They're over by Fort Carson on Cheyenne Mountain Boulevard, and they donated some spa sessions for the lucky ones that are going to be able to win that tonight. And
I feel lucky.
at this point, we're
Eric. Have you ever had a Luna float,
or just a float at all?
Have you never floated?
Nope.
Pretty awesome. You want to try it?
Is that the
It's literally like a therapy float.
Oh.
The water is, how much did you say? How many pounds?
Are these the deprivation tanks?
Yeah, they're
okay.
Like 80 pounds of.
No, I have never been in one, but I've heard of them.
It's phenomenal. You can look at the gift certificates right there beside you.
You get butt naked and you just let everything float.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
The funny part, and like it might sound weird for some people that are listening, but like. It's kind of funny when your nuts are like floating on top of the water.
Why are your nuts bobbing their way up to the top of the water?
Because they're fucking buoyant, man.
There's nothing in them.
I've got three kids that prove otherwise.
Oh, no. I'm just saying you've expelled it all.
I hope to God that's the truth, because I don't want any more. But so we also have good Lord, Mr. Vinyl Decals.
Yeah, you got it, Mr. Vinyl Decals.
Yeah, so he did our banner for us.
Did he do the double barrel doo-doo ones?
He did the vinyl thing that's in front. I designed everything.
No, did he print them though?
No, he did only the front one. That one over there we got through a different source. So
that's the one with your signature on it.
Yeah.
Cool.
And now and tonight and glad that you said that, because here in a few moments we're going to have Donald Cerone, Cowboy.
Is he here? Did you see him?
Yeah, I just talked to him. Okay. So he's down. He's kind of like in a bummer mood, but he's down. He's going to come sit with us, and we'll get his autograph on the bad boy. And
why is he bummed?
I don't know. But it's Jason Gonzalez, who owns a promotion, I think in Lamar or Los Alamos. He dragged him out, and it was that easy. So we're going to have him on. We're going to talk to him, and kind of excited about it.
Yeah, it ought to be good.
So, all right. So what are we in the second round now?
Second round of this one, and I'm not sure if we know.
I don't know either one of them.
We know what Jim's
I guess that's
about.
kind of a bad thing on the podcast. We kind of get sidetracked easily.
Well, they didn't post they don't have any of the flyers out.
Yeah.
for the
They
car.
don't have
So
a
we-
fight card?
No, they don't have any of them out.
Usually when you walk in the door, you get a flyer. But I mean, the only person Brett Roller's fighting. He's a co-main event.
Okay.
We're sponsoring him for
Now,
this one.
It's so funny because